Welcome to another episode of the Pit Walk down here from All Historics at Mallala, brought to you by Sporting Car Club. I'm here with Andrew today and his Ford Sierra RS500. Tell us a bit about the car, Andrew.
It's an original car, Netcomm car. It's been sat in the garage a long time. 3 friends, when we were younger, bought it from Murray. So we're the second owner, which apparently is pretty rare these days. And paid 20 grand for the car at the time because it was just an old hat car, and it had a lot of DNFs and things, and as Murray said, it was the most expensive car he'd had and he was over it.
There's Astro Boy himself, the man who picked up win number 9 at the Mountain on the rebound last year, Peter Brock, retaking the Commodore. This is the Murray Carter, Netcomm Sierra, I should say. Anxious moment here. See the Sierra picking up the back wheel. Now Murray waves him by.
The last time this car went out to run, prior to doing Phillip Island this year, just the last month, and Adelaide Motorsport Festival, was at the Grand Prix in Adelaide, and there's a sticker on there in '94. It's got rally on it, and I was in driver's briefing and I was trying to get a race sticker, so we couldn't go in there. And Peter Brock was at the hour and he goes, "Don't worry, lad." We got the car going, went around, but I was always sceptical with the electrics. Went to go, and I'd got a sponsor as well, and green light went, and I put my foot down. As soon as it come on boost, just shut down.
A lot of wheel spin. This track's a little bit greasy, still a little.
This here is a bit unusual because that's where the air jacks go. That's still there to the day. He had the cut-off switch, which he didn't use. It was there. That there. It was heavily involved in Queensland in a massive crash, terrible crash, and they lost a few cars. But the cars were racing as they did in the day through the flames, and it got hit hard, and Madecki's car burnt to the ground. All the mark for that front quarter is all in there. So the telltiles are there. It's done 2 Bathurst. I think they're pretty well DNF'd, as a lot did. And we took it this year when we did get it going, and ironically went to Phillip Island and we lost the left rear, and we've got a fantastic shot out of it, as much as it's not good. But so this wheel was out here, and then probably somewhere out here 3 metres is a wheel nut flying there. So it was on a tray top again, and someone said, well, at least it's not on fire, because it's usually on fire. And I went over with some of the other guys, very helpful, and they lent me a wheel nut, put it on, and we've not undone it since.
Wow. So, for the uninitiated, who is Murray Carter?
All right, well, he's 92 years old now. They took his licence off him. He's motorbikes, you look him up, Cup of Tea Motorsport is what he is. He has a book. Suggest you go out there and buy it and have a look. And if it had a motor or anything, he wanted it to go. He used to do a lot of development on Ford's cars. Officially wasn't a Ford driver, but he'd come in, get all the things and improve it next, and then they'd put that onto some of the other cars. So very cluey fellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he had his Falcons there, XDs, RX7s, Skylines, but this came along and he's after cost me too much money, that car did.
And the RS500 is, it goes without saying in the grand scheme of world touring car history that it's a pretty special car.
Just as a poster thing.
Yeah,
I had it on my
know.
wall when I was a kid on there, and then went to England, and I was bringing stuff over, little small things, and I was like, I want to get one of those engines. And in the end, I ended up buying a car over there, a white one. I still got the thing. And my father went mental because I was supposed to be saving up for a house at the time. In its day, it was the
weapon.
They used to use them in Ram Raid and things, all of that, you know. And they'd use them a bit in rallying as well, limited. But yeah, all of that. So to be able to get one and just have it at the time, it was like, wow, okay, yeah.
It's a pretty, it's a special car.
It didn't matter what, you know, we couldn't afford what it was. Oh, we've got something, you know. And
yeah.
So we got ourselves a lot of things to fix, you know. But anyway.
So from way back in 1994 till when you ran it last, what has the car been doing since?
Sitting in a shed and some little animals were making homes in here for 25 years. I built that engine back in 90-odd, pulled it down when we went to resto, and we cleaned up the head and everything. It's running 6.2 compression. They used to have 8 injectors. We now run, they're fake, or they're real, but they're cut off. We use 4 because obviously I'm not into injection, but now you can control it and get all of that without all of this. The timing and everything will be adjusted. So at 6.2, if we were redoing that engine now, but the block was there, it'd probably might be 8.1 or somewhere around it.
So that's pretty cool about this specific car, because it's sat for so long. Like, it's really weird for a race car to just disappear in a garage for 25 or 30 years. But it's like, it's not just a time capsule of these type of race cars, it's a time capsule of itself. From 1994, from when you built the engine.
We were early 20s then, and like I say.
From when you were a kid.
You go, it's still there, okay, many a time you go, just get rid of it. And the cat and rats and all sorts have slept in it in the shed. Got a nephew, he was only that big then. He's been involved right through this, and he's not been into cars, but he knows every nut and bolt on that and management. He wired the whole thing, so he's learnt and done all of that, so that's good, and he'll drive it later on. There's a replica that's running in England, because they allow replicas in with the originals, and that car's won Silverstone, Spa, or Le Mans Classic, the whole lot of them. The car's probably more well known over there now than
as a replica of the real one, which has been.
That car's like they must have taken it to Australia. No, this is just
this is the original one.
So the gearbox is the same, the bell housing's the same. Obviously, the engine, the whole engine's out of another car. The diff's a 9-inch. That's all the housing from in the day. The fuel tank's still in there with the guy called Joe that used to be on the team. It's got written on there, "Hi Murray" from in the day. So roll cage, the car came from, it was a kit car from Andy Rouse, because the guy confirmed it at Adelaide Motorsport Festival this year. They got it from the team that was running the Oxo cars, the early Oxo cars, and went to Sydney and got it, and then they got the gearbox and bits and pieces and built it up from there.
Now, you're not just the driver of this, you're pretty well rounded as far as motorsport in South Australia and businesses and stuff. So do you want to talk a bit about Autosport and Velo and everything else you got going on too?
Yeah, I can. Well, years ago I did club cars, and then I used to bring in parts. I had a business called Quitco, but my little pet was Velo seats. So I started Velo back when seats were a lot of money in the day, and to try and have something, and I didn't have the money to go and buy them. And we started that, and then we got them approved, and they're made yard. I had to come up with a name, I wanted to do that, and it was more like just to try and make something. We enjoyed making a product that people could use. It's not made overseas, it's made at Holden Hill, Jacobs and Crescent. Before that it was made at Redwood Park in my shed. My father used to knock on the floor and say, "Stop now," and the house was reek of fiberglass and contact glue. And Velo stands for, what is a velodrome? A velodrome is an arena of speed, and Latin word is velo, it means swift.
And you're involved with Autosport too, aren't you?
In 2008-9, Autosport became available, and I said I'd like to get it, but I can only get it if we can take the whole property and keep it there, because if we bought it and then someone else did it, then we wouldn't be able to pay the rent of what the going rate is there, because it's right next to town. So from our experience, I lost a lot of money when I was building cars. I'd go and put the wrong diff ratio in and all of this, and it's like, I believe in selling what someone needs. You don't all need a $5,000 or $3,000 helmet. Go in hill climbing, come in, we'll put you into what's needed, and then later on, if you like it, you can go up. You know, trying to put people into something so that they can go from there.
I reckon that about wraps it up here from this episode of the Pit Walk. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. There it is, he's got it.